These are 5 things I've learned from being a beekeeper for 4 years. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ben, and if you could do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. I'm trying to grow my subscriber base. I'd love to get it above 100 within the next few weeks, if not by the end of the month. That'd be really great, and it would really help me out if you could do that, and it really does actually mean a lot. I know people say that all the time, but it's really helpful. All right, now here are 5 things that I've learned from being a beekeeper over the last 4 years. Now, these aren't the only 5 things, but they're just some insights that I think I want to share with you guys if you're new to beekeeping or if you've been in beekeeping for a while. Point number 1, bees sting. Thanks, Sherlock Holmes. Now, I know that seems pretty basic, and if you're getting into beekeeping or you have some bees, it's something that you kind of just take for granted, but I think it's something people should think a lot more about, because if you don't have a pain tolerance, or you don't like getting stung, or you think, I'm just gonna wear a bee suit and then I'll never be stung. Unfortunately, that's not the way it happens, because there's always a bee somewhere. They get on your suit, on your shoes. They get on your shoes. They do get on your shoes, and they sting you in the ankles, or they get on your suit, or they get on your gloves, or they get in your house, or when you're extracting honey. So there's always going to be bees somewhere. So you will get stung, and if anybody around you is too close to your bees, they might get stung as well. Seems rudimentary. I went to college. Seems simple. Nice word. But it's just something to keep in mind. You will be stung, and if you don't have a high pain tolerance, and you think, I'm just gonna wear a suit and gloves and shoes and I'll never be stung, you're gonna get stung. Just get ready for it. And it's weird, I've noticed typically in spring, I tend to get stung more and it hurts more, and the bruises last a little bit longer because my body hasn't really warmed up to the idea of the bees yet. Once I get stung more and more after that, it's still annoying, but it's not quite as bad. Point number 2, beekeeping is expensive up front. The front load cost is pretty high to get into beekeeping. If you want to get a hive, a first year hive, they usually range from $260 to $290 depending on which variation you get. If you're getting screen or solid, if you're going with deeps, if you're going to get a queen excluder, depending on what you get, it can be pretty expensive up front. And then bees are generally going to run you about $150 a package. And if you're going to get a nuke, it's going to be around $190 to $200 typically. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, but it's going to be expensive up front. So go into this knowing that you're going to have to pay quite a bit of money to get into it. And then you're going to have to get a suit or a jacket and gloves and tools, smokers, feed. But if you can be patient and you can put in the time and the effort, and don't just jump into this and think, well, I'm going to go spend a couple $100. Spend a little time preparing for this, because the back end is going to be profitable. You can make honey, you can use wax, you can have drawn comb, which is very, very nice to have, especially if you're going to split your bees. You can split those bees, in theory, indefinitely. All right, so you could get $150 for a package. I'd say get 2 hives would be my advice. I know it's more money up front, but it'll probably save you. So get 2 hives, spend the money, invest in knowledge, learn to keep your bees alive, and then the year after that, if you don't want to buy any more bees, you just have to buy the equipment, and then you split them, and then you split them, and then you can sell them, and then you can make nukes, you can make packages, you can do propolis, right? There's all sorts of things you can do with your bees, but you have to get there. It's going to take you a little bit of time, so you have to be patient, but don't worry, you will get there, and the money will come in the end, if that's what you're after. Now, if you're not after that, and you just want some bees for honey for you, and because you enjoy them and their company, and they look cool, and you want them for pollination or whatever, hey, that's totally fine too, but just be aware it's going to cost you a little bit more up front. So if you're thinking this is a hobby you're going to get into, like RC cars or model trains, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Point number 3, people are going to think you are out of your gourd. They're going to look at you weird. They're going to go, hey, what do you do for fun? Or what do you do for a living? You'll be like, I have bees. And they're going to go, you have what? The stinging things. And they're going to go, that's crazy. And they're going to look at you weird. And then they're going to go, let me tell you my bee story about when I got stung. And they're going to want to share that with you, because being a beekeeper is not something that a lot of people do. It's a small percentage of the population. And anytime somebody does something interesting or out of the box that's not normal, people are going to want to interact with you, and they're going to want to pick your brain. And then if you have facts to share with them, it's pretty interesting. So it can be a good conversation for both of you, or it could be a not so good conversation where people go, what are you, out of your mind? That's dumb. Why do you have bees? And you just ignore those people. But the people that think you're weird and then want to engage with you, they're probably going to want to buy honey from you too, because they're going to go, do you have honey? Do you make your own honey? Can I get some? So they might think you're weird, but then they're going to want something from you. That's good. Point number 4, get a mentor or join a bee club or get a job working for a place that sells bees and beekeeping equipment. This is one of the biggest things that I really wish everybody would do. I know it's kind of hard. You have to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to find a mentor or join a bee club or get a job working with bees. Just be around people that have bees. You will kickstart your knowledge base so much faster than you would if you were just watching YouTube videos where you only had like 1 hive or 2 hives and you were just doing it yourself. Now you can still learn a lot and you still get a lot done and a lot accomplished. That's fine. But I would suggest being in the world of beekeeping somehow. I've learned infinitely more working at a company that sells bees, and I've been there for 4 years, just interacting with people. Every bee season from March, April, and May, right, those 3 months, I'm interacting with hundreds and hundreds of people, if not over 1,000 easily. And people always want to come and they want to go, oh, that's awesome. And everybody's always super excited to come pick up their bees because it's a very exciting time of the year, and they're getting their bees and they're hopeful and they're planning for the future and they're looking at getting honey and they're going to do all these things and they got all these plans and they want to share those with you. But you also get the people who want to share their losses. And it's unfortunate and it's sad when you hear them because a lot of people have large losses. I remember this last year I had a gentleman who had 60 hives in one location, and it was close to the road, and the county decided to come by and spray pesticide in a place that they hadn't sprayed before, and it was either a new area or they hadn't sprayed a lot there. He wasn't exactly sure what it was, but it was multiple people like that, and they got sprayed and all 60 of his hives died. That can happen. It's super sad when that happens. But that isn't something I really would have thought about. I might have thought, oh, well, being close to the road isn't that big a deal. Like there's privet and there's brush, and a lot of times, close to the road doesn't get mowed. And so I might have thought before that interaction, hey, I'll put them in this location. But after you hear stories of people just having these losses and sharing their sorrows with you, you can go, it is sad, but I'm going to learn from them, and I'm not going to do that in the future. So find somebody that's been in the space before, that's been there for a long time. It's like anything. You get a mentor in anything. Look at somebody who is 5 to 10 years at least ahead of you in what you're doing. And the amount of headache and money, we were just talking about how expensive it is, that you will save, it's you can't calculate it. And it'll actually help you stay in the world of beekeeping, whereas before you might have gotten out because it was just you versus the bees and the elements. Point number 5 is that bees demand your complete focus. And I found personally for me that it brings me peace when I'm working them. It's hard to do anything else when you're beekeeping. It's hard to be distracted. You typically aren't watching your phone. You're not using a tablet. You're not watching the TV. You're just in the bees, and it takes focus because you're looking for the queen or you're checking the hive, and you're everything that you have, all your faculties are focused on this one thing. And there's a buzzing of the hive that kind of adds like a background, almost ambience noise. I'm not sure exactly how to explain what it is. I'm sure there's experts out there. But I've seen other people. I remember listening to a veteran who had PTSD, and he said that he found beekeeping was one of the things that solved, or severely is probably not the right word to use, that helped him cope with his PTSD. Because when he was in the hives, like I said, he was focused on the hives. The noise, the smells, the work, the concentration, the focus. It's pretty sweet, and I really enjoy it. So if you're looking for something that will help you find peace, and I know point number 1, they sting a lot. Yeah, they do sting a lot. But if you could figure out how to work them calmly and efficiently, they'll work with you. So those were 5 points or observations that I made about myself and about bees since I've been in the beekeeping world for the past 4 years. I apologize. I was actually going to shoot this with my bees out next to one of my hives, and I had these great plans. And then, since it's Georgia, it decided to rain and thunder and lightning. And as you can see outside, it's overcast. It's about to start storming. So that's why we're in here, so I apologize for that. We'll get out to the bees soon. Actually, this 4th of July weekend, so depending, when am I filming this? It's just Tuesday right now, July the 1st. So this will probably come out either tomorrow or the next day. So hopefully on the 4th of July weekend, I'm looking to relocate all my hives. Some stuff came up this last weekend, unfortunately, I couldn't. But we'll bring you guys along for that, and we'll have you watch me wrangle some double deep hives and move them for the first time. So this is going to be exciting for everybody. All right, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by. This is just part 1. If there's anything else you want me to touch on in a part 2, ask me certain questions or put them in the comments down below and say, what do you think about this? Have you interacted with this? Do you know this person or this group or whatnot? And we'll tackle it together. All right, guys, we really appreciate you stopping by. Please do subscribe to the channel and like it if you did like this video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.